Woman in the UK has a 18-year-old son who has Down syndrome. All right. He is apparently having a hard time developing relationships, and he's not getting laid as much as his mother would like him to get laid. So what she's doing is she's putting him on a bunch of social networking sites, putting him in a bunch of dating websites, and hoping to find a woman he could snog with.
Oh, Jesus and Lord mercy.
Right.
Okay, first I thought you were coming at this kind of strong. You know, you're like, you know, guy, he's not getting laid that often. Right. But, you know, you read the article, and Anna's right. I mean, the mom's like, oh, man, I really wish he'd get, you know, knock boots a little bit, you know, throw somebody around, bring him home and have some sex. And I'm like, Mom, take it easy, man. You're going crazy here. But she's like, look, no, love and sex is part of life. And, you know, I hope he gets to experience that. And, frankly, I'm thinking of hiring him a hooker.
Yeah, she's thinking about hiring him a hooker. She says she has no problem with sending him to Amsterdam, setting up a whole rendezvous with a woman in a brothel. And he's going to Vegas soon, and she's hoping that he's going to get a woman pregnant.
Somebody's getting pregnant tonight.
She is looking for grandchildren. And it's awesome because he had a few comments to make in an interview. I want to read them to you. All right. I'm on a mission to find a girlfriend. My reason is I want to have sex. I'm looking for a girlfriend everywhere. All right. He continues to say, there was Jackie. She was one sexy bird. She was gorgeous. She gave me 4 kisses. Okay. But he has snogged. In fact, he says so. Then there was Sarah. We had a crazy snog together. I love that word. It was a few months ago. I'm still waiting for her to call me back.
Oh, no. All right, now here's the thing. I don't even know what snogging is. I love the word, too, but it can't be sex because he's a virgin. And it's not just kissing because he did that earlier.
I don't think he's a virgin. I think he's had sex before. This woman...
I think he's a virgin.
Really? I don't know.
That's the sense I got.
I've always thought that snog means sex.
Oh, well, we'll have to check with our British friends, and they'll have to inform us whether snogging is actually sex. But you know what? There's words like, you know, I almost said in American. In America, in English, you know, like hookup. What does hookup mean? I think snog is probably hookup.
Probably.
It could mean sex. It could mean just making out. Snog, for some reason, I always feel like I get a picture of somebody doing a little molestation with a snog. Like I snogged her up.
But here's the thing that I don't understand. Listen to the context. Then there was Sarah. We had a crazy snog together. What does that mean? We had a crazy makeout session? We did some heavy petting?
I think so. I think snogging is petting. I think he's going for the boobanis.
Allow me to teach you.
All right, go. Okay. Well, you are Irish, so you might know this, Jay.
Yeah, okay. So there's a couple of definitions. To interface passionately with another being, creating a field of physical obsession and focused arousal on the lips, mouth, and the tongue.
Oh, wow.
To play tonsil hockey is another one.
See, it's making out.
To give comfort
sucks.
or show affection to a fellow user of an internet forum.
I don't think.
Yeah. So it's basically.
Yeah, so it's making out and heavy petting. That's my sense of it. So no, the kids still need something. So if you're out there and you're looking to help a brother out, that's the kind of help.
He's looking for a little more than a snog.
Well, apparently so. And look, I love his mom. She's looking out for his best interests. And at first, I was amused by the story, and I thought, come on, that's probably a bit much, right? I would be a little uncomfortable if my mom's like, hey, anybody want to lay my son? Right? I'd be like, no, Mom, I'm begging you, right? But he's into it. He wants her help. He asked for her help. And you know what? It's very open-minded of her to think, you know what? Sex is a part of life, and he's not getting that, and that I want him to experience that. So that's awesome. I think that's actually a really, really cool mom.
I know, but I think that it's really counterproductive. Because, I mean, him having Down syndrome is one thing, but then having your mom vouch for you and, finding you
good point.
A sex mate is not going to... I mean, that doesn't turn me on whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, even if he was the hottest guy in the world, if his mom came up to me and said, hey, my son's, a really good-looking guy, he wants to have sex, I'd be like, I don't know. No,
that's a great point. See, I like her effort, but at the same time, Anna's right. It's counterproductive. I mean, how are you ever going to get a girl when your mom's like, hey, come on, really, bang him out. It's going to be awesome. Please, step aside. And then the one other thing that was a little question about her is she said, I want him to have sex with someone who doesn't have Down syndrome.
Yeah, that's what I totally agree with you, because throughout the entire article, she makes these comments and quotes about how people with Down syndrome are people too, and they should be treated equally. You know,
and she's got 3 kids with Down syndrome, and she
does.
adopted. Okay,
yeah.
So I mean, she's got a great heart. You can't take that away from her. But then why not have him hook up with somebody with or without Down syndrome?
Exactly.
So it seems a little,
Iffy.
a little biased to say that she wants him to hook up with, a non-Down syndrome chick. I mean, I get why, right? But it's not that cool, right? That's my sense of it. But anyway, she's trying, and you got to give her that.